Another one of the common problems that I see is a forward shoulder position. Because most things in life that we do are in front of us, we tend to hang out in this position of anterior shoulder, kind of popularized by Kelly Stewart, the douchebag shoulder syndrome. What that does is it puts you in a position to where you're internally rotated at the upper arm, and that creates an unstable shoulder socket, okay? And it also takes the rotators in the back of the shoulder, the back part of the rotator cuff, and puts them in a position they can't really effectively grab on to the head of the humerus and control it the way that they're meant to do so. What ends up happening is they get stretched out kind of like octopus arms, and they're rendered passively insufficient, and they kind of get glued down and tacked down that way, and then you start to have shoulder pain because only half of your rotator cuff is really working, and you've got other musculature that's trying to compensate for that. But there's an easy fix for that, okay? You get yourself a lacrosse ball, and you're gonna put that ball, you're gonna palpate you're going to feel the back of the shoulder here, and you'll feel a bony spine basically going out toward the end of the shoulder, okay? We call that the spine of the scapula, okay? You're going to go right underneath that spine of the scapula with a ball, okay? And we're going to end up working from about mid-scapula and out toward the shoulder joint, okay? So we'll start about mid-scapula, and then I'm going to turn this way so you can see where the ball is. And I want to get more pressure on the ball, so I'm just going to tilt my hips to the right. What I don't want you to do is get in this position to where you're creating impingement in the shoulder, okay? This is what we're trying to get rid of and prevent, okay? So I'm just gonna slightly lean over toward the ball. Maybe I can put my hand on here and put a little more pressure on it. And then you're just gonna work into internal and external rotation. And what you're doing is you're creating shear at the soft tissues around the posterior rotator cuff. And that shear is gonna clean up some sliding surface dysfunction. It may help loosen up some free nerve endings. It may help upregulate the musculature of the rotator cuff, and ultimately what it's going to do is it's going to allow you to be able to create more external rotation torque when you're doing something badass. 2 to 3 minutes on that, or as prescribed.